before you start watching this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to make the channel bigger and better than ever. It would be simply lovely to do that. Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of Football Show. Today I'm going to talk about yesterday's Premier League game between Newcastle and Liverpool, and also the other game from from the Serie A between Inter and Torino. But let's start with Newcastle's game against Liverpool. And boy, that was a great game. That was a great game. It was very intense, and to be honest with you, as Arne Slot said after the game, it didn't look like a football match because there was lots of throw-ins, lots of set pieces. It didn't look like a football match, but it was a great game. And I have to say, Newcastle, even though they lost at the end by a goal from Rio Ngumoha, which I'm going to talk about him. What an effort that Newcastle put. What an effort. First of all, congratulations to Liverpool for the win, but I have to say Liverpool, they performed poorly. They were defensively awful again. And how many, that's 3 games on a trot. They were 2-0 up against Crystal Palace, throw it away and lost on penalties. They were 2-0 up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth managed to come back. Liverpool managed to come back as well and win. And this game, similar thing. That's 3 games on the trot, and Liverpool can't keep getting away with this. And listen, you have to give credit to Liverpool to some extent for their character, for never giving up, despite letting away a 2-goal lead, because they were 2-0 up again in this game, and they throw it away. And you have to give them the props for their character and their strength. But they can't keep getting away with this. They can't. It can't go on like this, can it, for Liverpool? It can. I know the meme. But it can't. It can't, because Liverpool, they were poor. Let's be honest. They were poor. They were making sloppy passes. They were losing possession in sloppy areas. Defensively, they were poor, sloppy again. Kanate was sloppy. I think the players who played well for Liverpool, I think maybe you could also say the misses from Liverpool, like McAllister. He didn't play because I think they did of something personal. I don't remember what it is, but something personal. But also, that's why Szoboszlai had to play right back, and he could play right back, and I heard that from before the game from Liverpool fans, and I thought he had a very good performance. I thought he was fantastic once again, and that goal at the end, when he made that, when he didn't touch the ball, but he made that flip and tricked the Newcastle players. I mean, that was fantastic. Move from Szoboszlai, even though he didn't touch the ball in that moment. So yeah, Kanate again was not great. Was very poor. I mean, he was very poor against Crystal Palace, against Bournemouth, and against Newcastle. And Van Dijk, he looked very good. Kekes was not great as well. I think he got slapped by a couple of times by Alanga. I thought he had a very poor game. Verse didn't have a good game as well. I've heard people overreacting about him, saying, "Oh, he's a flop," etc. Listen, it's 2 games. Let's not overreact too much. It's still, there's a long way to go through the season. So he will get better for sure. But he didn't play well. And what I would say is that why Verse is not playing well is because maybe, I think the difference he has to know between the German league and the Premier League is that when he plays in the German league, the referees are very far away. They're very far away. They let the players move whatever they want. Whereas the referees in the Premier League, they're running to see where the ball is. So I think Verts needs to know that, because sometimes he's with the sometimes I see him alongside the referee a couple of times. So he needs to understand the difference. He needs to understand he's not playing in the German league. He's not playing in the Bundesliga. Bundesliga is a decent league. It's a good league. Don't get me wrong, but it's completely different to the Premier League. Completely different. So he has to get used to it, and Premier League is more competitive. So Verse has to understand that playing in the Premier League is not like German league, but he will get better. I'm pretty sure of that. Salah didn't have the best game. Yeah, people say, "Oh, he got assists," but let's be honest, that was most of amazing work from Szoboszlai and Rio Ngumoha. And Ekitike, I mean, again, he had a very again he stepped up for Liverpool again, scoring again. He scored in Community Shield, scored in the first game, and he scored in this game. I mean, he's been on fire for Liverpool recently. He's so far delivered for Liverpool. Um, and then comes the winning goal from Ryu Ngoma, who Nguma, and he's 16 years old. He's 16 years old. Um, he's gonna be soon 17 years old. I am I'm 2 years older than him. Um, and that's crazy. But anyway, um, but yeah, what a great moment! What a great moment for him and for his family. Um, so yeah, and I will also want to also say another thing about Florian Wirtz is that he needs to also understand he's not only playing in a different league, but he's also playing in a different system, because Javi Alonso's system, playing under Javi Alonso, is completely different to playing under Arne Slot. The two very good managers, don't get me wrong, but it's two different systems, two different ways, two teams who play in different ways, and they have different teammates, except Frank Pong, but they have different. So he has to adapt also not only to him by himself, but also to his teammates, to get the best out of himself and to help Liverpool as well. So yeah, that's also another thing that he needs to understand. Also, he needs to understand that he's playing in a different league. He also needs to understand he also playing in a different system, and he's playing with different teammates. So yeah, let's move on to Rio Nagoma. Nagoma, back to him. What a great moment for him, and what a great moment for his not only for him and for his family as well. Watching him, grow. And 16 years old. And let's not forget, Liverpool bought him from Chelsea. Chelsea let him go, and I heard John Terry from I think one yesterday or the day before the day before it was before the game. He said Chelsea don't make many transfer mistakes, but Chelsea letting Ryan Goma go was a big mistake. And I heard from I heard from also Liverpool fans saying that he's fantastic. He was fantastic in the pre-season, etc. So I thought like, okay, maybe it could be one for the future for Liverpool. And I tell you what, that composure, that finish from him, that finish, especially when you're 16 years old and you have that pressure playing in that environment in the Premier League, against Newcastle away from home, and when Liverpool have been like very poor, let it go, bottling, not bottling, but like throwing away a 2-goal lead, and you have that pressure to score. Not only that, he smashed it. It's not like he took an extra touch to shoot, or took a touch and shoot. No, he smashed it. Like the composure and the confidence he had, and the power of the shot he had. Like fantastic, absolute fantastic, brilliant from Rio. Fantastic performance. Fantastic goal, and fantastic composure, and fantastic he showed a great sense of personality, a great sense of balls. But fantastic, well done. I mean, amazing, very very good goal from Rio, and obviously yes, he's 16 years old, and I'm 2 years older than him, so people might think I'm a bit jealous. No, I'm not jealous. I like to see this kind of, because I like to see this kind of moments from those people who are 16, 17, 18 years old, as a guy like me who's 18 years old. So very good finish, amazing finish from him. And on a slot, I mean, he's made some great substitutions recently, like bringing Kays against Bournemouth, scoring the winner ish, and now Rio scoring the winner as well. So yeah, but I need to also say that Liverpool need to improve defensively, because listen, they need Isak, of course they need an extra attacker, but I think more importantly they need a new defender, a new centre back, because defensively they've been so poor. Liverpool, so poor, and they need a centre back. Kalasi needs to fix up, because his performances has been very poor. I don't know, maybe is that because of that interest from Real Madrid, that maybe it's made him like perform badly, but he needs to fix up, and Liverpool need to try to sign Magu, and I think they might have a good chance of signing him, because Steve Parish, the guy who's in charge of Crystal Palace, not the manager, but in terms of transfers and where the club are, he said that we don't want to sell Maguire for free next year, because obviously he's got 1 year left in his contract. So I think Liverpool might have a good chance of selling him. Liverpool might have a good chance of signing him. Sorry. So yeah, but Liverpool, like I also I want to say Liverpool need to improve because in the performances they've had has not been great. So it's not sustainable. Like, yes, they've won those games against Newcastle and Bournemouth, but it's not sustainable for the remainder of the season. So performances they have to improve. Liverpool, they have to improve in order to keep the good results, right? So yeah, that's my opinion. But Liverpool, they show, I have to say, they show good character, good fight, and even though despite playing poorly and throwing away a 2-goal lead against Newcastle with down to 10 men, they didn't like crumble. They still managed to find a way to try to get that winning goal. So well done to Slot and to his players for Liverpool. So good win. And for Newcastle, I mean, even they lost, I would say they deserve lots of credit, and Eddie Howe as well. Like, they showed great character in Newcastle. By the way, Anthony Gordon, what was he doing? I mean, that was such a needless challenge from him on Van Dijk, and maybe that's because of he played the I won't say the occasion of the game, but he played by the emotions of the game. Like, that emotions are very high, and Newcastle fans and players are very pumped up because of what has happened outside the pitch in terms of Isaac's situation, etc. So it seems like Gordon played the game by the emotions. He played the game by the emotions. But he went through the motions. The emotions got the better of him, and that's what led to this needless challenge from him, and they gave him a red card, which was a deserved red card. But what I would say is that why don't the VAR and the referee give a red card to Kanate? Like, by the way, he was on a yellow, and it should be a straight red. Should be a straight red. I don't know again, like, we are week 2 in this Premier League season. We just started the Premier League season, and we are seeing seeing so many inconsistencies. I really don't understand. Like, it's unbelievable. But anyway, how these referees in the Premier League, how can they be so bad? It's not great. And yes, they have this ref cam, thing we saw from Simon Hooper, the referee, but it's not enough. It's not enough when these stupid decisions keep going on and on and on. But anyway, Newcastle, you have to say, despite being down to 10 men, 2-0 down, they found a way to come back and to fight. Goal from Bruno Gomares and Usula when Newcastle played that long ball to the second goal. And the first goal, like I said, Kirkers, when he was trying to mark Bruno Gomares, poor defending from him, from Kirkers, but great header from Bruno Gomares. And Newcastle, they fought away. And Newcastle played really well. I think from the first minute to the 35th minute in the first half, they were fantastic. But again, similar to the Aston Villa game, they missed that clinical edge in front of goal, and they missed that killer instinct. And you know what the irony? What is the irony? Is that if Alexander Isak played this game for Newcastle, Newcastle would have won. Even Eddie Howe said it. He would have made a difference. Like, that's the irony. If Alexander Isak played, Newcastle would have won the game. So Newcastle played really well from the first minute to the 35th minute, and despite being 2-0 down, and when the Ekitike scored the second goal, and they're down to 10 men, you think like, yeah, that's it, Liverpool got the job done. But Newcastle never gave up, and they fought back, they fight. So well done to them. Bruno Gomares, Ursula. I thought like Bruno Gomares had a fantastic game. Alanga had a decent game as well. So I'll say, and let's not forget they also had injuries, which is a problem as well. Tonali, Shar. So that's another problem that Newcastle have to face. Not only suspension from Gordon, but also the injuries. So let's see. But I think Newcastle, like, they've shown that they can fight. They've shown that they can cope with it, the difficult circumstances. So well done. And the crowd, like I said, they were fantastic. Newcastle, it was a great atmosphere, great game, drama, red cards, moments, fights between the players. It was a great game. It was a Premier League classic. That's for sure. So very good game. I loved it. So yeah, I'm gonna close the video. I'm gonna talk about this game more, just for a few minutes, and then move on to the Inter game.